Hello everyone and welcome back to E2E. Today we are starting over here in the new skyscraper next to our calcium sulfate factory. This has been running for a little bit, not really sure how long it's been actually rendered for because I did log out and it is now the next day. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at the output of all of our factories over here. I do know for a fact that the cryothium didn't work. I just went and checked on it and I had removed a power cable from a crafter, so unfortunately we don't really have a whole bunch of that. We only have 74 buckets. But a bunch of the other stuff that we're making in there, we do have a lot of. So let's just check blue slime. We have 177 blocks. This also tends to break whenever I log out. This right here, this seared faucet, you have to power it with a redstone signal and then it will go. Unfortunately, if you unload it, even if it's powered, it won't detect that it's powered and then it won't automatically put stuff into the basin. I tried to fix that by putting an observer clock, but this also breaks when unloaded, so kind of an issue. So now I've got a lever and an observer clock, and now hopefully that works. So I guess we'll find out. If we go take a look at calcium sulfate, we have 1,361, which is quite good. Over here in the powder land, we've got around 1,900 blitz powder and basalt powder plus 5,000 blizz powder. And as you can see, we also have around 500 of each of the biomes of plenty gemstones. That is a pretty good amount of resources, if I do say so myself. All right, well, let's move on to what we're actually doing today. So last episode, I said that I was probably going to look into one of the next things in the, list of things to do. We could either go Advanced Rocketry, Ender IO. Those are the two that I was looking for. I also thought about doing PSI, but I think we're going to wait on that. I'm not really sure how much of that we're going to actually need to do, considering that there is no PSI chapter, but Botany and Thermal Expansion give access to this. I think that's not going to be too difficult, so I don't think we're going to be dedicating an entire episode to that. Maybe that'll be in some future automation episode down the line. Anyways, I was looking at Advanced Rocketry and Ender IO, and I decided that those seemed a little complicated, so I think we're just going to go ahead and kind of continue setting up automation stuff. I believe I mentioned it last time. Modular Machinery has a whole bunch of really nice multi-block structures that can help automate some advanced crafting things, which I have bookmarked over here, because we are going to be needing a whole bunch of this stuff in the future, so I think it would be a great time now to get everything set up so then we can just run right through Ender IO or right through Advanced Rocketry and then continue from there. So I went ahead and obviously bookmarked all the machines that we need. We're going to be building only 4 of them. I don't really see a point to building the Arcane Crafting Engine because, no, it's not the Arcane Crafting Engine, Starlight Crafting Engine. I don't know why you'd need this. The Shifting Star, you don't use for much. Colored lenses, I can't really find an end game use for them other than maybe making seeds and infused glass, but even those, you don't use those for a lot of things. It doesn't make any sense, so I just don't think we need that one. Alright, anyways, the 4 that we do need though are the Advanced Metallurgic Fabricator, Arcane Crafting Engine, Thermo-Ionic Fabricator, and Carpenter. So the Advanced Metallurgic Fabricator is probably going to be the one we go for first. It looks to be not too difficult to build, although I haven't really looked into this, but it's got 7 recipes that we will want to automate. First one being Mirion. This is a endgame crafting resource. As you can see, it's used in the Ultimate Ingot and the Mana Tablet and the Infinite Mana Pool, which if I could make this, that would be great. We also could grab titanium, and the only way to get this is through the Advanced Metallurgic Fabricator. Titanium is the one reason I wanted to do Modular Machinery first, because I was looking into actually doing Advanced Rocketry, but if we need titanium, we may as well just do the entire Modular Machinery and get it over with, right? Alright, the next one is Modularium. We're going to actually need this to make the machines, so I figured it'd be pretty easy to automate. I mean, it doesn't take too much. It just takes a Palace Crystal, Steel, Platinum, and a Pulsating Ender Crystal, which is Pulsating Iron and a Diamond. We can definitely set up a pattern for that, but it looks like there's a cheaper pattern if we actually use the Fabricator. So we're definitely going to be doing that, but we're going to need to get some of these in the first place anyway. Also, this is one of the only ways to automate the creation of Oscogloss besides putting it in a Tigger's Construct alloy, because that sounds extremely annoying. We're definitely going to be setting it up this way because we also need this for the Ultimate Ingot. Alumite is another one, same thing. We could alloy it, but that seems painful, so let's just do it in the Metallurgic Fabricator. Night Slime, same thing. We need this for the Ultimate Ingot, and then the last thing is Osmiridium. Again, another alloy that would make it a lot easier here. And it also looks like it's a better conversion ratio. The next thing we need is the Arcane Crafting Engine. Hopefully, oh my god, that looks to be rather painful to build, but that doesn't look to be too horrible. That'll basically just allow us to automate simple arcane and complex arcane mechanisms, so I don't have to manually craft 100,000 of those. We are going to have to manually craft a bunch of magic stuff later, but the less we have to do, the better. There might also be some more recipes in there, but I haven't really looked too deep because I don't really know what I need. Next one, thermoionic fabricator. There's really only 2 recipes that I actually need in here, and that would be the resonant cell frame and the garden cloche. Garden cloche just for convenience, and the resonant cell frame because you need those for a bunch of things. The other things in here that you could craft is machine cases, which we already have, all of these different electron tubes from forestry, which I don't think we actually need, and the flexible casing, which I also don't think we need. So not too bad there, only 2 recipes from that one, but that's okay. And last but not least, the advanced carpenter. There are a couple recipes in here that we're definitely going to need. Stellar alloy is one of them. That looks to be extremely annoying, so we're probably not going to be setting up actual automation for this because it needs some really nasty stuff, but we'll have the pattern in there in case we do ever want to autocraft it. We also can make wyvern cores. That is going to be painful, and we're definitely not doing that today. I'm just going to place the pattern and call it good. And same thing for the draconic energy core. Those 2 things are from Draconic Evolution, and they take primal mana, which is extremely annoying to get because you have to make it in a alloying furnace here. So that's going to be kind of annoying, and I have no idea how we're going to manage to do that, but I'm sure we'll figure that out at some point. So yeah, those are the machines we need to build, so I guess now we need to figure out how to do this. Let's start out with the metallurgic fabricator because that looks to be the easiest one. And also the reason we make the metallurgic fabricator first is so we can actually make modularium cheaper, because I'm fairly certain you need modularium to make basically everything here. So it looks like for these there are different types of input, output, hatches and things. If you look right here, it starts at normal and then reinforced, big, and huge. We probably should just go all the way up to huge because go big or go home, right? That's how we do things here. So let me go ahead and bookmark everything we actually need for this, and then we can start crafting. Alrighty, a list of resources has been acquired. There are a few things that we don't actually have yet, so why don't we go ahead and make some patterns for those so we can actually get to crafting. Modularium alloy is the first one because we need this to make the machine cases, so we can go ahead and make a pattern for that. I'm not going to make a pattern for normal empowered palace crystals because I think I'll just uncraft them myself from the blocks. We are also going to need let's see, 1 controller. Not going to make a pattern for some of these things, so I don't think it's really worth doing. We're going to be making 4 controllers. There's not really a need for a pattern for that. The other things we're going to need, we need a huge item input, so I am actually going to make patterns for these because they are a kind of a process. You need to craft basically from the bottom all the way to the top, and I do want to use the huge ones just because, you know, go big or go home as we've discussed earlier. First one we need is a huge item input, so we need to make this. There we go. And to make this, we would need a big item input. And to make this, we'd need a reinforced item input. And to make this, we need the normal item input. We need an item buffer from Ender.io. That is just a chest, some electrical steel, and iron. And we also need an item input port from Advanced Generators. So we need to do this. We have got that one done. The next one is the reinforced, and this requires an item laser relay. So we are going to have to put a fluid laser relay into this thing. So, we have to do a bunch of this stuff. Okay. That doesn't actually seem too bad. We just need those like advanced wires. And there we go. Energy relay. I'm just going to make half a stack of these because I don't exactly know how many we need. And then we have to run it through our atomic deconstructor like twice, was it? So we don't really need a pattern for that either. Next up is the big one. We need an item again. And the huge one, we need an advanced item. So that is just put it in with a black quartz for stony crystal and an advanced coil. So we should just be able to craft that, right? Yeah. Yep. And in you go. Okay. So we are going to be missing the hardened glass, but we can wait on that. So let's move on to the, do we need an item output? I don't think we do. Oh, yes, we do. Because we need to actually put things back into the system. Yeah, that does make a whole bunch of sense. Make the pattern for that one, and then upgrade it to the reinforced with an item laser relay, which we already have. Upgrade it to the big one with another item relay, which we already have. And then finally, the advanced one, which we already have. Next up, we can do the fluid input. We do not need fluid output, and as a matter of fact, you can't actually craft them. Oh, no, you can. You can make the normal one. You cannot do any of the other ones. Very nice. Now, as a matter of fact, now that I'm thinking about this, some of these recipes require different liquids. And I'm not really sure how I'm going to get those liquids in there. I'm going to have to figure that out. There's 2 options. You either include the liquids in the crafting pattern somehow, or you make multiple machines, one for each type of thing for a fluid consumed, right? So like night slime, obviously we need to put in liquid purple slime, but titanium, we need liquid chlorine. That's going to be a problem. Now, I'm fairly certain there's only 2 things that need liquid, and then the rest of them don't need anything. So if we were to do that with individual machines for each thing, we would only need 3 machines. That's still 3 machines that I would still have to craft things manually for, but it's better than nothing. So I suppose we should be fine for now. Whatever. Let's move on, I guess. Now, how do you actually make the machine casings? I probably should make a pattern for those because we are going to be needing these, and I don't really want to just sit there and craft them, so we can go ahead and do that. For this machine specifically, just as a base, we are going to need 16 modular frames. All right, there we go. Those are all in. Now, we also need 6 buckets of mutagen. I believe that's just like a fluid that you have to put on the inside. If my memory serves me correctly, I believe we are making that in here. Yes, we are. So assuming I can just like take a bucket out of here, I can take a bucket out of there. All right, well, there's our 6 buckets of mutagen. That was pretty simple. We also need a machine controller. So all we need is the circuit board. So I'll grab some bronze and redstone and go make those at the carpenter. All right, circuit boards have been acquired. I just went ahead and made 21 in case we do need some more. We probably will, so that's good. I guess we have to put these in manually. There we go. Machine controller. Next thing we need is we need our huge item input. We have everything we need minus an advanced item laser relay and 2 normal item relays because they're in my inventory. We also need 4 vents, which look to be some overclocked heat units, a pipe seal. That's actually pretty cheap. Let's just go ahead and make like 16 of those just to have them. We also need some turbine vents for mechanism generators, which means we need turbine casings. All right, a bunch of microcrafting later. We have 8 of the overclocked heat vents, which means we should be able to make 2, or I guess 4 vents, which is exactly what we needed. Except we ran out of those things, so we need to make some more modularium. I cannot wait until we get the better recipe because this is annoying. Now, another thing that I think you might be able to do with this modularium, I think you can actually duplicate this. So we are going to try. Oh, yeah, you can. Okay, so maybe we should do that. Scan completed. It only takes 8 millibuckets, which is like nothing at all. So let's go ahead and just make some of those. Next up is 2 machine circuitry. And that is just a redstone wire coil, a tier 4 board. So we're going to have to get a tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, plus printed circuits, plus ultimate control circuits. Ugh. Alrighty, and here we have our intricate circuit board. So we should be able to make 1 of these because we need 2, and I forgot. Okay. Alright, and here we have a machine circuitry, and we have made 2 of them. We are good. I also have enough to get another intricate circuit board, plus the one I just put in there, for 2 extras in case we need some more vents for the next machine, which I have a feeling we will. Alright, we also need 6 blocks of fiery metal. Is that the Twilight Forest stuff? It is. I don't actually know how much fiery ingots I have here. Yeah, we have like 130. We also are going to need our huge fluid input. Not too difficult to craft. Now the only thing left we need is our normal energy input. Let's go ahead and put this in this building. It's not going to stay here. I am going to be building a dedicated building for this, but I'd like to place it in here just to get it working. I think this is pretty good. Let's put it right here. And there we go. I think that should be it. Blueprint found and none. Structure found. Advanced metallurgic fabricator. And there is our blueprint for that. Let's go plug this sucker in and see what happens. All right, here's your blueprint. Now we need to power the thing. Missing input item. Yep, we do have to put items in. So let's go ahead and just try to make one of these recipes. Osmiridium, that seems like a pretty easy one. We just need iridium and osmium. I would assume that I can just place these things in manually. All right, and there you go. Missing input item. Oh, there we go. It is working like a charm and should be ending up in here. Yes, it is. That is awesome. All right, so that is pretty easy. Now, the easiest way to automate this is probably just to put the interface right here. I think the next best step would be just to craft everything we need for the next 3 machines, right? Thermionic fabricator, arcane crafting engine, and advanced carpenter. And yeah, that is going to probably take a lot of microcrafting on my end. So why don't we just do a time lapse of that? Alrighty, we are back. Everything has been crafted. Now, you probably saw at the end of that time lapse, I had to make some Thaumcraft stuff. And yes, it was just as annoying as I remember. Thankfully, this machine allows us to craft the complex arcane mechanisms, which we are going to need in the future for crafting benitoite, which is going to be stupidly annoying, but at least it'll be automatable now. Anyways, the other machines, nothing too difficult. The hardest part of this one, which is the thermo-ionic fabricator, was probably the code processing units and maybe the machine vents. Everything else, smooth sailing, done it all before, easy to gather. Over here in the metallurgic fabricator, basically same thing, nothing too difficult. The most expensive thing here is going to be the 64K crafting storages. I don't know why this machine needs 4 of these. That doesn't really make sense, but sure, we made them. No problems there. Everything is good. Now, the next thing that we need to do is we need to build a building for this, because I'm not actually going to place these down because these order crystals you can't pick back up. These are like the crystal clusters that grow in the ground, and you can't silk touch them. I did try. You probably saw that. Didn't work, so we're going to have to place this one time and never again. But anyways, if I'm not placing these down, I need to figure out how many I'm going to need, because some of these machines, I may have to put multiple of them down, depending on if I can figure out fluid automation. Truth be told, fluid automation is kind of difficult and really annoying to do, so I probably will just end up placing down more than one, just because it's easy. Okay, anyway, so we need to figure out how big these machines are and how many I need. Let's start off with the Advanced Carpenter. I believe that one is the biggest. The only things that we need to craft for this, I've marked them out here. Draconic Energy Core, Wyvern Core, and the Stellar Alloy Block. Everything else is just circuit boards and the crafting core. If I need more of these, I'll just make them in the normal Carpenter. It's not really that difficult. Stellar Alloy, we need Liquid DNA, so that's 1. And for the Wyvern Core, we need Primal Mana, so that's 2. And the Draconic Energy Core also uses Primal Mana. Perfect. So we only need 2 of those, so that's not too bad. Next one is the Thermo-Ionic Fabricator. This is also a 5x5, so we need a 7x7 again. And this one, I think there's only 2 things that I need: resonant cell frames and the garden cloche, but those just use liquid glass, so we only need 1 of those. Next one is the Arcane Crafting Engine. There's only 1 input type. There's not even a fluid port on this thing, so we only need the 1. And last but not least, the one we have already placed down, the Metallurgic Fabricator. This is the one that we need multiple things for. And I'm just going to say that this is a 5x5 as well, just to make things simple on everyone. So how many of these do we actually need? Let's take a look here. Mirion, we have nothing, so that's 1. Chlorine for titanium, that's 2. Nothing for the rest of this stuff. Liquid purple slime, 3 for night slime, and that is all we need. We're not going to be making flux crystal blocks because you can make those in the fluid infuser transposers right here. I've already got a pattern set up, and destabilized redstone is coming out of our system right there. 3 for this, 1 for you, 1 for you, and 2 for you. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 7x7x7s. That's not too bad. So the future plan for this area, we are going to be running this road all the way down to there. I had previously planned that out by lining it up, which leaves us with a small area right here. I usually try to avoid building like small land areas right here, because then I have to place like parks and things. But since this one has popped up, I think we should be able to fit the building I have planned right in this area here. The mod we're working with right now is modular machinery, so what if we just build like small square building modules and then stack them all together? It'd be like a modular building to fit the modular machines. I think that'd be a pretty cool idea. So why don't we go ahead and, well, first I think let's build the road real quick. That shouldn't take too long, and then we can hop into a creative testing world and design this building and place it in this small area right here. Yep, just kidding. We're not actually building the roads yet. We're over here in the skyscraper. I went ahead and added one thing real quick before I built the roads. Thank you, Minecraft, for freezing right there. I really appreciate that. I added a little crafting thing over here to make all the types of concrete, because I keep getting sick of having to make all these concretes and then you have to pour water on them. I did have a food infuser set up in my base, but I figured, you know what, we may as well finalize it and make all 16 colors, as shown here by this very long list of concrete recipes. Went ahead and crafted up some concrete, put it over here in the building 1 dank null, and now we can build the roads. That should be a pretty quick time lapse, and then we can hop in and start designing the actual building for this place. Alrighty, road has been placed, and we are over here in the creative testing world. I went ahead and copied over a slice of terrain yet again. That's just because if we're working in a confined space, it's better to know exactly how much space you have, because if you didn't, you might end up building over the road or something. Our machines themselves are 5 by 5. So realistically, if we were to do modules, we would want them to be 9 by 9, so we could actually fit the machines in here. Now, just looking at this, I don't think there's going to be enough space to put 2 of them and make it over to that building. So I guess let's go ahead and find out. Okay, so that is not good. So if we could do 2 9 by 9 modules, but they would be right up against the sidewalk and right up against the building, and that is not going to work. I guess we can go ahead and try to get something down for a block palette. I'm kind of going to go for like a theme of the machines themselves. So this is the metallurgic fabricator. It's got green liquid on the inside and of course modular frames. So we want to find a block that looks similar to this that isn't this, because that's very expensive. And I'm thinking we're going to use like green glass to mock the mutagen that's in there. I'm not going to do much with this because this is mostly Thaumcraft stuff, but the other 2 we're definitely going to use. Inside of here is pyrotheum, so we're probably going to use orange glass to mimic that one. And then inside the carpenter, it's cryotheum, so we'll probably use like light blue or cyan glass in that one. Alrighty, I got something down for a block palette. I'm not really sure how much of these I'm going to use. I'm kind of just chucking things together. So obviously we've got the 3 colored glasses that we're going to go with, lime, orange, and light blue. I went with Tinker's Construct clear glass because it is very clear and it just matches the color better. So I think that's probably what we're going to be using. I've also went ahead and picked out some blocks that look like the modular casings. We got some stone burnt dark steel, normal steel, boron, temple blocks, maybe coal coke, probably not coal coke though. We got some block of diamonds and some plastic blocks. I'm feeling more towards these 4 kinda, plus maybe some stone burnt. Also, we got some vents over here, laboratory vents. These can only be vertical though. On top, they do not have a texture. And we've got some fans as well. I also went ahead and got some teleporter frames from Mechanism. Hopefully these aren't too difficult to make. Okay, they're not. We are going to have to get some auto crafting set up for this. I feel like this one wouldn't be too difficult. Yeah, that's just has to go. We just need to basically put osmium into our osmium compressor, and then we have that done. Same thing for the glowstone. We're going to have to do that anyway, so no problems there. But this kind of looks like the like kind of terminals and some of the ports with the green on it, especially the power. That is what the teleporter frames looks like. And I've also got some emeradic crystal blocks because these like to connect and the texture of the green goes away. So if we put like a emeradic in the middle, then that actually looks pretty good. So I'll probably do something like that. I've also got these copper coil blocks down here. These are probably going to be like power plugins. And I've got some ornate steel glass right here. We're basically going to be building pipes out of this. All right, so that is it for the palette. I may add some more things. I may remove some things. Not really sure. And honestly, I think the best way to figure that out is to just get building. Run the time lapse. Alrighty, there we go. Modular machinery building is done. Now all we have to do, copy this over, build the other machines, and then actually place everything down. Now, a couple things to mention about this. You've probably noticed the mutagen isn't actually flowing down here. That is because I'm going to just put it all in and then break the cobblestone, and then it'll just flow down. For the cryothium and pyrothium, you can kind of barely see in there that there's actually blue concrete at the back. Cryothium and pyrothium have the weird properties of they don't actually sit somewhere. They will actually flow down with gravity. If I place the source block, it does actually fall down. So we do have to fill these entirely, and I didn't really want to fill the entire thing, so instead I decided, you know what, let's just fill it with some concrete so you can't actually see the insides. I did have to put string up here, by the way, because if I don't, then it will spread fire or snow everywhere. That's kind of annoying, so I figured let's just put some string. You can barely even see it anyway. Now, of course, that I'm sitting here, nothing actually happens. There you go. There's some snow, and this would also light fires. There you go. Also, another thing, since we are doing the Thaumcraft one, I also kind of put a rift in this little container instead of liquid, and then there is some little corruption going on in there. That's where our Thaumcraft one is going to be going. I thought that was a nice little detail. All right, the entrance is also going to be at the back here, and there's also going to be a kind of an exit here, which will lead into the courtyard. All right, you've also probably noticed there's some holes in the floor. This is going to go straight up. This is where the elevator is going to be going, so we can actually access the machines. I really did kind of just build this without, you know, transport in mind. Currently, the only way to get up to there is through that elevator, and to get up here is through this hole in the wall and then another elevator. So yeah, that's my bad. The logistics, not very, you know, logistical. All we need to do now is go paste this in to the server. All right, here we are back on the server. Everything's been copied over. The list of materials for this one is very, very, very long. Oh my god, this is going to be a fun gathering session. It's not stuff that's difficult to get. It's just a lot of stuff. We got multiple concretes. We got some luminous blocks for the rift, alchemical constructs, block of diamond. We need 1,300 boron blocks. I hope I have enough boron for that. I think I do. Also going to need to grab a bunch of clear glass, and clear glass is like really annoying to get. I definitely don't have enough of this, so we're going to be sitting at our forge for quite some time. Everything else isn't too bad to get. The ionite, cryonite, and aethium we can just ignore because that's part of the other building. That's just there so I know exactly where to place it. Got some concrete, palace crystals, some void stone, 740 steel blocks. That's also going to be rather annoying, so we should probably get that crafting now. Teleporter frames, we are going to have to actually automate the osmium compressor over here. It's not going to be too difficult. All I need to do is add some kind of ME access point to, you know, input osmium into this machine. It's not going to be difficult, it's just going to be annoying. That should be just about everything. We're also going to need 1647 plastic blocks, and honestly, I think let's just kind of stop this from producing for a little bit because we're already at like 3,000 HDPE sheets, and that's probably good enough forever. So let's just go ahead and put this in the wall of stuff as well up here with the wood. 194,000. Yep. That'll work just fine. All right, I'll go get these gathered, and then we can place the building. All right, materials have been gathered. Blueprint is in the place it needs to be, and all we have to do now is place it. Before we place it, though, I think I used about maybe 8 hours in my time in a bottle just because I had to wait for the stupid Tinker's Construct glass. Yeah, that takes forever. So, yeah, anyways, that's fine. We still have 374 hours left. Not really too worried about that. All right, anyways, well, we may as well just get this placed in. Yeah, no point waiting around. Let's do it. Boom! Building has been built. Very nice. Now, of course, there's still a few things we need to do. I need to place in the computers on this little, like, indicator thing because they're tile entities. We need to place the elevators in because currently there's no way to do anything right now. You kind of just have to fly through the ceiling. And we also need to run an ME cable over here. Now that is going to be a little bit annoying, but it's not going to be too bad. If we come down here into the environmental tech area, we have this lime cable with one channel used. So why don't we just run that under the ground? And that can go into the building over there, and that we can use to automate our modular machines. Speaking of those, we are going to have to make a few more. I have marked them all out, so we have the 3 metallurgic fabricators right there. We have our Thaumcraft one right there. I don't even know what that one's called. We have a singular thermoionic fabricator, because as you can see, this uses pyrothium. And we also have the 2 cryothium ones which are the ones that are attached up there. I did also label them all accordingly with a color of glass. Red is an entrance, green is the metallurgic fabricator, blue, of course, is the carpenters, I believe. I think so, and then the orange is the thermoionic fabricator. So that's not too bad. Oh, right, we also need to put in all of the cryotheum and pyrotheum and also the mutagen. So I'm going to go get all of that done. I think I'm also going to craft everything we need to make for the machines. You've already seen that done once, so I'll just go ahead and do that. And then we can cut back when we are actually building and automating these. Yep, we're back. It's been maybe like 4 hours. Yep, that is how long it took to do all this stuff. Making the modular machine things without auto crafting patterns took forever. Why did I not just make patterns for everything? I have no idea. But anyways, we have all of them done. 3 metallurgic fabricators ready to go. We've got our alchemical, arcane crafting, whatever. 2 carpenters and 1 thermoionic fabricator. Now all we have to do is go place them in their buildings. So why don't we go ahead and do that? Let me grab the first one. This is a thermoionic fabricator. And we can go get ready to build this. So 2 of them are going to have fluids and 1 of them is not. So this is currently open. There's nothing here. This is just like the computer panel. So this is where we could be making the fluids for these 2. And then this is where the one that doesn't need fluids is going to go. So let's go ahead and put that here. I believe we do this and then we should be able to place this thing. And let's place it right there. That gives us enough space to access item output, input, power, and I think this is fluids. And there we go. We are good. Now all we have to do is plug everything in, which is going to be the interesting part because I do want to keep this elevator here because this is the elevator that takes us up to the blue floor. This is obviously going to be the one that just uses normal stuff. So we need to find item input, which is right there, grab our interface and put all the patterns there. So let's go ahead and make all the patterns we need for this because we might as well, right? Mirion. Yep, let's make that. Glass, manasteel, elementium, and a terrasteel for Mirion. Very nice. Titanium. This requires chlorine, so that's not going to be it. Modularium, let's do that. And we can take the modularium out of here. We don't actually need this anymore because we now have a better recipe. Although I doubt I'll be making modularium anymore. Is it used for anything else? No, it literally isn't. So that is a completely useless recipe, but that's fine. Osgilglass. Absolutely. Alumite, yes please. Do we have a pattern for obsidian? We probably do. And the last one, osmiridium. Very nice. All right, let's grab an interface and hook everything up. And as I had previously mentioned, I was going to run the smart cable from the environmental tech area. I also ran a power cable from there. That makes 5.5 million RF per tick in the day. These things require like 100,000 KRF per tick sometimes, so I figured this would be a good thing. So I'm going to run some lime cable all the way over like this. Put our interface right there, and we can put our patterns right the way in there. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and make some stuff. I want to make some Mirion. Can we even do that? We don't have manasteel. Well, I can change that real quick. All right, here we go. Can we make Mirion? Oh, let's go ahead and start it. Check in here. Is everything working just fine? One can hope. Right, we are not actually taking stuff from the output yet, I bet. That's probably a good idea, isn't it? Oh, and we also probably need to power everything, don't we? Just run that up all the way to here. Now this should actually be crafting, I bet. Yep, and the Mirion ended up in there, so let's grab some item cables and run that around. And that is good to go for the first one with no liquids in it. Very nice. Okay, so we should now go ahead and put in the 2 that need liquids. I mean, it's not going to be difficult to build them because I've had to build this thing about 4 times by now because I keep misplacing it. So let's just go ahead and build these 2 and then we can get some liquids automated. Let's see, what are the actual liquids we need? One of them is liquid chlorine, which isn't too bad. You just need to shove normal chlorine into a condensator, and to get normal chlorine, you just separate brine. And for brine, you either use a thermal evaporation tower, which we definitely have space for, or you can just put salt inside of some kind of chemical reactor thing. The other thing we need is, what was it? Yes, liquid purple slime. This is not going to be difficult because it's going to be very similar to the liquid blue slime. We just need to put the purple slimy saplings into something, and then that will turn it into liquid purple slime, which then we can pipe straight in to the fabricator. All right, patterns have been made, materials have been gathered, and buildings have been constructed. Let's go ahead and put the patterns in first. This one, let's say night slime for you. This one over here, will be our titanium. Very nice. Okay, I have everything we need for night slime first, so let's do that. Need 3 garden cloches right here, water them up, and then we put in a wood seeds, slime seeds, and of course nature seeds. We run all of these into a crafter tier 1 with some item conduits. First thing we need to do is we need to take our slime essence and we need to turn that into slime balls, however you do that. Next pattern can be a 1 slime ball, 2 wood essence, and a nature essence. Now that makes the blue one, so I think we have to reorganize these. I'm not too sure on that. Let's see, what is the way to do this? Of course, I picked the thing with 30 pages to sort through. That was really smart. And of course, it's on the last page. All right, that is the pattern for the purple slime trees. We hit apply, and those will go to the output. Very nice. Now we need to send these into a melter. Ah, it's not a melter, it's a fluid extractor. No wonder that wasn't working. There we go, liquid purple slime. Perfect. Now I also have a little tank right here that I'm going to be pumping things into just so we can have a buffer, because this thing, I'm not sure how much fluid it can store. I guess I could check. 40,000 millibuckets plus these add, I think, 800,000 millibuckets? Ugh, yeah, that should be fine. And insert, please be going in. Perfect. Now we already have 28,000 millibuckets of this. So this thing is going rather quickly, which is very good because that means we're going to be able to make a lot of night slime. All right, so this should be good to go now. Okay, let's go ahead and make some night slime. Let's make 10 pieces. That should make 12 pieces. Yep, that does make sense. Check our crafting status. And it has already came in. Night slime automated. That was not too bad. All right. The next one is going to be a little bit more challenging, though, because we need to make a thermal evaporation tower. You know, we're in a desert. We may as well just do that. So first thing we need is the thermal evaporation controller. This isn't too bad in itself. We just need some thermal evaporation blocks, steel and copper. Now, we are going to be needing some of these because the actual structure is made of those. So there we go, and we also need to grab an ultimate fluid tank, which we're going to have to make all the way down to the basic one and upgrade it. And there we go, evaporation controller. We're also going to need some valves. I think 2 valves, input and output. I don't think we need more than that. No, we need one more. I just had a thought here. Yeah, because we're going to run some power into this to make it run faster. We're not going to need it to run super fast, but it would be nice. Resistive heater. Yeah, this is what is going to help us here. So now the reason you'd make a resistive heater is you can put heat directly into the evaporation tower to increase the speed of it. So that is what we are going to do. We should be able to build this. Now there's one other thing that we need. Water. Because we're making brine. Now, since this thing is going to be going very fast, we should go ahead and make a sink. Now, this is rather annoying as a recipe, so why don't we just go ahead and make some auto-crafting patterns for this. We already have dense infinite water source. Terracotta we have a whole bunch of. Ultimate mechanical pipes we're going to have to make. There we go. Got some mechanism pipes, and then we can put that with the mechanism stuff, assuming I actually have room for it. I don't. Dense iron plates. Do we have a recipe for that? We do not. That shouldn't be too bad. I know we can make those. And then we just need the theoretical infinite water source. That's not too bad either because we just need water essence, which we already have like 32,000 of. And then base essence nugget. That is just a base essence ingot, which we already have a pattern for. Right, and this is going to take a while because we have to craft 500,000 basic plates to get the dense infinite water source. That does make sense. So let's go ahead and set everything else up first. Of course, it's always dark whenever I'm trying to do anything, and of course, I don't put lights in my building anymore because mobs don't spawn, so that's just really convenient. I'm pretty sure I have a bed in here. Yeah, I do. Let's just use it. Unbelievable. Okay, whatever. Anyways, let's get this thermal evaporation tower down. I am going to embed it in the floor because it is quite large. All right, so we do this, and then we should be able to put our controller right here. And it should sparkle red. There we go. Now, the heat is going up because we are in a desert. And by desert, I mean savanna. Hot biome. But anyways, this is where our water is going to go. I'm probably going to need to get some of the mechanism mechanical pipes because they have a pretty high throughput, 6,400 millibuckets per tick of pump rate. And there's our sink. Very nice. All right. Put that right there. There's a nice little fish in there. How quaint. Should be pumping water in there. That is pretty fast. And let's see, how are we doing? We are making brine. That is not very fast though. We want to increase that speed. We need to put in another one of those, I'm pretty sure. I think it works like that. I think I can just place it there. Not really sure on that one though. But let's see what happens if I just run a power cable down here and set this to the correct thing. I'm fairly certain you want 1500 RF per tick, and that is the maximum benefit you can get. So let's set that there and see what happens. Does this go up incredibly fast? Yes, it does. We already have 10,000 millibuckets of brine. Run this into the electrolytic separator. All right, yep, there we go. And we want to dump excess sodium. We would like to keep the chlorine. That chlorine will go into the condensator, which will also need some power. There we go. Chlorine goes in, liquid chlorine comes out, and there we go. Liquid chlorine goes in there. Pattern is already in. Let's make some titanium, shall we? Bam, let's make 100 pieces because we can. We are missing salt. Oh, right, yeah, to actually make the titanium, you need salt in the recipe. Yep, okay, we're going to need to grab some salt. That's not going to be too difficult. We should just set up a little salt farm and just pump stuff in. Yeah, we have made salt farms before. Basically, you just need a starting piece of fresh water, 2 crafters, and a oak chest. And there we go, salt farm just like that. Now we can just simply take some item conduits right here, set this on extract, and run it exactly into that interface right there. 100 pieces of titanium, start. Crafting 32 of those, and we forgot to take the item outputs. That might be a good thing to do. All right, now real question is what happens? Something isn't actually working. Not enough energy. Oh yeah, because we forgot to plug the machine in. Oh my god. All right, well there we go. That should be better, hopefully. Yep, there we go. Titanium coming in. Beautiful stuff right there. All right, well that is everything we need for the metallurgic fabricator. So we can go ahead and remove that from our bookmarks of stuff to do. Very nice. Next up, let's go set up the thermoionic fabricator carpenter and the arcane crafting engine, shall we? Holy, that is in fact a building. So let's place that right there. And that should be all we need, right? Arcane crafting engine, arcane crafting engine. Perfect. Interface goes on the input right there. We'll run an ME cable. This doesn't need power. Wait, this is actually great. Am I even going to put a conduit facade on this? Yeah, fine. I'll make it look nice. Ugh, boring. Fortunately, I had to move the elevator. So the elevator is now going to go 1 block over in the room, and that's kind of inconvenient, but what are you going to do, right? There we go. All right, now let's go put the patterns for the things that we need in there. Those patterns are going to be the simple arcane mechanism and the complex arcane mechanism. Now, hopefully this does not take the V's crystals. I have no way to test this because I currently do not have any alchemical brass plates, but we do have enough to make 2, so let's just go ahead and do that. If it works for this, it's going to work for the advanced one. All right, simple arcane mechanism. We have everything we need. Did it actually go through? No. Oh, wait, no, it did actually work. I just didn't hook it back up like an idiot. Oh my god. Okay, so we're good. And we do in fact have the simple arcane mechanism right there. Now, do we have enough to make this? No, because we need to make another one. Okay, yep, that's going to be a good enough for me. Next up, why don't we just go ahead and knock out the thermoionic fabricator. Let's go ahead and remove the Thaumcraft stuff from there so I never have to see it again. Let's set up patterns for these 2. This should be pretty easy. We're also going to have to export sand directly from the system so it could be melted into glass. Export a bus, and we grab a piece of sand to set the filter. Grab 2 acceleration cards because that's good enough. And let's go build this thing. Now this one's going to be extra annoying because it's all the way up here. So we're going to have to run a power cable through the Thaumcraft area. And I kind of didn't leave myself a lot of space for that. And there we have it. Thermoionic fabricator found, and the blueprint is in. All we need to do now is actually get the inputs in place. Now glass is, we don't actually send sand in here, we have to send in liquid glass. So we're going to send sand into something to melt into glass. All right, now I'm also going to employ the portable tank over there. I did not use it for the brine just because we were making it so fast. I didn't feel like we needed to. And now we get to do the fun part of running a power cable all the way through and all the way up into there. That's going to be fun. I don't know where we're going to do that. Take some advice from me. We're building a building. Make sure you have space to move around in. Oh my god, dude. The cabling that I've had to do in this place is absolutely ridiculous. We ran the ME cable through the floor here, and since we have the power cable running from there, we had to run the ME cable all the way around over to there, and then we had to run the power cable all the way up and around, and then around again to get to the melter to fill up glass for this place. Yep, we already have a full resonant tank full of glass, and we have everything we need to make a garden cloche, and I also went ahead and put the pattern in for the resonant cell frame. So why don't we go ahead and see if we can make some garden cloches. We have a 19 so far, so let's make 10 more. Oh yes, and they are coming in just like that. I did also set up everything we need to make the resonant cell frame. The pattern was a bit weird for that because every time I tried to put it in like this, it shifted everything down. So I basically just removed the glass and then put some more mana dust in there, and I'm hoping that's going to work. We actually do have everything we need for it. I went ahead and made up a couple empowered diamantine crystals just to test this, so let's just start it. Thermoionic fabricator complete. Next up, all we have left to do is the advanced carpenters. Now for the advanced carpenters, we are not going to be automating liquids today. Liquid DNA involves something with like DNA extraction with saplings and trees and bees and blah, blah, blah. I'm not about to do that. And primal mana, you can only make in a Tinker's Construct alloy. And that sounds like kind of super annoying, so we're just like not going to deal with that today. Instead, I'm just going to go build those buildings, put the patterns in, and then just call it a day. We won't be able to make them yet, but at least they will be there. And there we have it. Those have been constructed. They are fully operational. We can check the controller right here. Advanced Carpenter, Advanced Carpenter. Everything is good here. And honestly, I think I'm just going to set up the automation for this once we actually need to, because there's no point setting it up and having it be a pattern in my system if I can't even make it yet. So honestly, I think that is going to be it for this episode. We have got quite a bit of stuff done. We built this entire building and we automated all of the important modular machines. Very nice stuff. Next episode, we are going to be continuing on our quest to, actually beat this mod, and we're going to be doing advanced rocketry. I'm thinking this is probably going to be split into 3 episodes. The first episode is going to be the basics. We're going to build some basic machines. We're going to build a rocket and get everything ready. The episode after that, we're going to start off by building a building for advanced rocketry, which is going to be a rocket launch site. It's going to go out in the desert somewhere, and that should be pretty cool. And then we're going to go launch to another planet and gather some important ores we need to continue this. And then the episode after that, we'll be setting up all of the multi-block structures that we haven't completed, try to get this tree done, and then advanced rocketry will be complete. That is the plan for the next 3 or so episodes, so y'all can look forward to building some rockets in the next episode. Goodbye.